Yo.
Yes, sir.
What's up, guys? Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in three, two, 1.
On the troll. On the troll.
Hello and welcome to Mzansi. We are back again. It's that time of the night where we have to look at things differently. We work with this area of the night. You know, it connects us properly so that we can also connect to this, what do you call it?
Live streaming.
No, these things that help you to connect with the phone. There's towers.
Oh, the towers.
The towers, yes. So we are
the
connecting.
ones that were mentioned today.
We are connecting live under load shedding. We are here. Please like our video. Today we are on 141. As we start, we have only 48 likes. So I'm just gonna eat a bit of time so that
Guys,
we
like the video.
give others a chance to like the
We are
video.
begging for likes.
Hello, Andy Swa. Morning, Patrick. Not morning, actually. It's
Not yet.
still at night. Yes, we were late today. Definitely, we were late. It was complicated today.
Ish.
Decoding the information and doing all those things that we needed to do. Simpiwe Moyo, hello. Yes, we have 97 likes so far. We have 235. I'm not going to start as yet. I will just give you a chance to like the video. 100, above 100. Thank you very much for doing us that favor. Thank you again. Emily, how was your day today?
It started off rough because I'm feeling exhausted from this trial. One thing that's making me exhausted is that now it's at a faster pace, number one. And number two, every day it's something new.
Yes.
I feel like I'm at a point where I'm struggling to keep up, guys. I don't know if I'm the only one. But today, it was a totally different, unexpected turn for me. So we're going to start off with the post-lunch sitting. That was with Colonel Lambertus Steyn.
So in a nutshell, we are starting from the end.
From the end, because that's the part where the technicalities are like jam-packed and too much data is mentioned, and it all pointed to a particular direction, you know, and I'm just like baffled now. I feel like, what is going on?
Yes.
This is like another U-turn from Tabzing's testimony. Now, guys. Hey, but then Advocate Baloy said that Colonel Steyn compiled 2 reports which have formed 2 exhibits. So Steyn is an analyst and investigating officer from the SAPS National Cold Case Unit. When I heard that word, Cold Case Unit.
Yes.
So it means he started working on this case after it went cold.
It's like a jandu.
So he's based in Pretoria National Office. Yes. He has 41 years experience in the SA Police. He has been a commissioned officer since 1986. He became a colonel about 2 years ago. And before 2012, he was working in the Priority Crime Management Center, DPCI Hawks, in Germiston Provincial Office since 2009 as an analyst. Up to date, he has analyzed up to 2,000 dockets. As part of his daily routine, he was required to analyze information obtained from cellular telephones, namely incoming and outgoing calls, phone contacts, SMSs, after the information he received from the DPCI phone downloaders. He also received cell phone information from investigating officers about phone data they receive service providers. He combines the phone downloads and the info from the cell phone providers to provide a court-ready analyzed picture. As part of his daily tasks, he has already testified in various regional and high court cases, of which he has a good sentences. And he said 5 cases that he did were in the High Court and about 50 in the Regional Court.
Yes.
So he has 6 successfully completed analyst notebook course during 1999, received in-service training from that time. He has knowledge of a program called XRY, an MS Office. Now, in my head, I'm thinking, I didn't even know that in South Africa such careers existed. You know, some of us would have liked to know about such careers when we were younger. Then XRY program is a program to work with downloads of the cell phone. He completed courses successfully, a BTEC in policing at UNISA from 2002 to 2003. His main subjects were investigation of crime and police administration. He says he passed with distinctions. In fact, Advocate Baloy was the one to remind him that you actually passed with distinctions. And in 1999, he completed the Analyst Notebook course Division 4 at Grasfontein in Pretoria, and then he kept mentioning all of the certificates that I cannot mention because they will take us a long time. A lifetime of learning, Dagabao.
In a nutshell, he's saying I come with experience. I have worked with High Court. It's not the first time I've been vast
Experience.
load of experience. That's what we can literally summarize on whatever that we were given. I think the main aim here was to make sure that you get the message. The message is that this man has been doing a lot of certificates and he's got a lot of them.
A lot of them he's been collecting throughout his career, Mtagabao, and most of them have to do with intelligence, even mentioning some of the financial investigation or officing thing. Like it's a lot of experience. And in my head, I kept thinking, maybe this is the man Zandi referred to when he said that he did a lie detector test, because in one of those qualifications, he also has he's qualified to do voice intelligence testing, and it goes along with doing lie detector tests. So I was like, maybe he said he's buff,
yes,
and he's a man of no color, so he could have been the one Zandi was
referring
about.
to. Yes, it could.
It could. I'm just thinking out loud. So Steyn described some of the abbreviations he will use during his testimony. He explained IMEI, which is a serial number that is allocated to one phone. And he said each phone has its own serial number and it can never be issued to another handset. You can never have one handset with 2 serial numbers. So when you buy a phone, it comes with a serial number. That serial number cannot be duplicated.
Yeah, it's a unique number.
And then he said you can determine in which country the phone was manufactured, but just by looking at that number. So he says the IMSI is the electronically allocated serial number of a SIM card. So I didn't even know that a SIM card also has a serial number. So the cell phone number you are using in your handset will be connected to the SIM card. So there's also an interaction voice response. He spoke of MMS, MOC, originating call. That is when you make a call to someone, SMS, and MSIDN.
Yes.
And other things that I left out. Then Steyn told the court that he received Section 204 of 1977 requests on the 9th of April 2020, which means that the file for Senzo Meyiwa's cold case landed on his desk on the 19th of April 2020.
Yes. What a nice stop.
So the request was to analyze his cell phone records, and Steyn said he was asked to check the profiles of the suspects if they have any previous criminal offenses, and was also asked to follow up on whether the suspects have firearms and whether there was a link between the suspects and those in the house. Now, 2020 was around the time that they kind of apprehended the 5 suspects. So he said he has access to the database of the police. And Baloy asked him to name the people in the house. And he named Kelly Khumalo, Zandile, her mother, and the 2 Longwes. And he said 2 Longwes and Chico. And I'm like, whoa. Okay. And then Tumelo. And then Baloy corrected him. And then he said, when you say Chico, you mean Longwe Twala and Togozisi Twala. And he's like, yes, yes. So Steyn also said, I also received cell phone downloads from Brigadier Gininda, which he received from Sergeant, now Captain Muswana, and Sergeant Mbasa. Now, the downloaded case 63610 of 2014, device type was ZTE V795. That's a type of phone with its own serial number that I will not mention, and the cell phone number that
You're not going to mention. It's okay.
Steyn told the court that during his analysis, he identified numbers that belonged to Kelly Khumalo. Date of birth and ID number were not included, and the offense was murder. Now, this is where I realized, like, what? Whoa, what? So, Kelly Khumalo landed on Colonel Steyn's file as a suspect for murder in 2020. And then the investigative officer, Lieutenant Colonel Midlin from Unit Toms, they also said they have numbers of everyone who was in the house, including Senzo's phone.
Yeah.
So the current suspects, they did not apply for their Section 205s because there is a 3-year lap. So it was too long ago to place that request. So what is happening here is that the phone records of all the 5 suspects could not be pulled.
Yes.
Because of Section 205. It has been 3 years since the incident or the crime was committed. Even the records that we use today were that of from 9 years ago from the people in the house. So the suspect's phone calls or phone records could not quite be used in full unless if they found a link.
Yes. Yes.
So discussed information from Kelly Khumalo. This is the part where it started to go like, what? XDS is there another abbreviation for a term that they use for when you go to a dealership to purchase a car. So they're able to get access to your information from the information you used while you bought a car.
Yes.
Crime administration system is when you go to the police station and you open a case, and then there's a criminal, or if you have a criminal record. So from that system, that's where they take this kind of information, whether you've opened a case before in the past or whether you've had a criminal record. Ineta system is a police system to follow up on your address and what cars are in your name.
It's like you those 2 systems that you mentioned there, other than the one of the police, they more you could look at them like TransUnion data.
Ne?
Yeah. The one that you use when they track you when you are buying things and doing all these things. That's more like that.
Yeah. So Ineta system is when they use it when they have a target or a suspect. That's what he said. So Truecaller can identify the owner of the phone and the person who is calling. So it is 90% accurate according to Colonel Steyn. Truecaller, I was shocked to hear Truecaller. It's an app.
Yeah, Truecaller. It is helping a lot of companies when they are calling you, maybe to sell you stuff. They've realized that people are using Truecaller to block them because they come in as spam numbers. Hence, they update their what we call CLI numbers. So those are the numbers that companies use. So they go to a service provider and they say, okay, we want to buy these numbers. We want to use them. We want these numbers to be dedicated to our company. So that when they call you, you can see that, okay, this is maybe Spa calling me. This is maybe Showbride calling. I'm just making an example. So these are numbers dedicated to that. So to avoid you blocking them, so that you see that, okay, this is this is so and so calling me. If I want that product, then you take it.
Okay, that's great. Then Steyn read out the numbers that belong to Kelly Khumalo. You know what baffled me is the fact that he went through all the cell phone numbers that Kelly Khumalo has owned in her lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, and then the other one he pulled.
After telling you that the system can anything, there are systems that is using that would tell you that this person has owned this and that number. It shouldn't, because that's like obviously anything that you are doing where you are submitting or you need to submit your ID is bound to be recorded.
Well, Rosebank case 1/6 of 2017. That's another pulling that they did. She was a victim in a theft general case. And then another number that she used was pulled on the 3rd of May 2017. Another number that she used on the 8th of August in 2017. A landline she used in 2017. And then on the 28th of March 2017 in Honeydew, there's another case that she had. And all the way until 2008, they tracked down all of those numbers. So there's a number that they are saying that was recorded under her name.
Yes.
And that is the number that they used later on to connect with the other suspect. So Steyn looked at one of Kelly's numbers that were registered on Truecaller as Kelly Bookings, also recorded in her name. So Steyn said that the number of calls that were made on this number on the day of the crime, which was the 26th of October 2014, at 1400 hours to 2300 hours, 41 minutes and 51 seconds.
Yeah.
And the next day, on the 27th of October 2014, it's possible that at the time the phone was in possession of the police because it was not active around that time. So
just to disturb you, I see Rodney here saying that, and it's not Rodney only, is to do, I think Jerry also had that problem of where you press the like button. So if you have an app, a YouTube app, you are going to see there that there is a button that has that thumbs up. You press that button, it will show you that it is being pressed. That's it. So it's not like your TikTok. You press it once, it should be fine. And also subscribe. Same thing. You're gonna see subscribe button is a neighbor to
down
that.
below, yes, next to the like button, there's a subscribe button. If it's black, it means you are not subscribed. But if it's white, it means you're good. You're part of the
If it's red,
family.
if it's red, it means you're not subscribed.
Some have changed. It's now black.
Okay. Yeah. So to cater for both. Yeah. Okay. Continue.
So there's also SMSs received by Zandi Khumalo that were sent by Kelly Khumalo's phone, and then Steyn went through the movements of Zandi and Longwe Twala. Steyn said that there's a movement of Zandi and Longwe on the 26th of October 2014, and Baloyi skipped a lot of pages after they mentioned that. It was like flipping, honey, flipping. That's all I could hear. And then he said to Colonel Steyn, you've already referred to page 17. And then Steyn added that at the bottom of page 17, we must keep in mind that you must always add plus 2 hours. When the time says 4, you must always say 6. SMSs between Zandile Khumalo and Longwe Twala, and Steyn said, please keep in mind that under section 205, then the time is the real time. And then the interpreter said, 1 with plus 2 hours. And now I'm confused. He said, it's not the one that it says plus 2 hours. And then Baloyi said, we will come to it later, okay? And then the moment of Longwe and Zandi on the 26th of October 2014, Baloyi asked Colonel Steyn, where you mentioned that 2 hours must be added. And then Steyn said, that is where we have to add plus 2 hours. Baloyi said, look at the part that says I'm outside. And Steyn said 4:57 is the actual time. The actual time is calculated as 18:57, just before 7 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
So he added that plus 2 hours. The morning after the incident, a cell phone download was done at 1:31, 27th of October 2014. It means the owner of the phone deleted everything on the phone or some of the information. It was a smartphone. Via internet, you can also delete your phone information. It's not necessary for you to have the phone in your hand. I'm like, yeah? Talking about Kelly's number, Steyn says he has no clear indication of when the police seized the phone. So on 24th of October 2014, no calls were made or answered. No calls were made to the police on the day of the murder as well. So on the 24th of October, 11:37, she received an SMS. She sent an SMS on the 24th of October 2014 at 11:48. 24th of October, 11:51, she also received an SMS. 13:46, she didn't answer a call. She received on that number. And then the following four calls were she answered. Okay, the following 4 calls she answered on the 28th of October 1852.
Yes.
So she received a call from Senzo where they talked for 96 seconds. Steyn said the 96 seconds is in his spreadsheet, his Excel spreadsheet, which he can kind of collect if it's needed under section 205.
Yes.
And then 1900 hours, 11 minutes, 38 seconds, she received another call from Senzo. And they talked for 14 seconds. 24th of October, she received a call from Zandile. At 1936, they talked for 11 seconds. And I'm like, those are very short phone calls.
Yeah.
Very short.
Yeah.
Then the rest of the time, no calls were made or answered. She did receive an SMS at 15:12 on the 25th of October 2014. And from that time to midnight, no calls were answered from that phone.
Yes.
On the 27th of October, no calls were answered. It could be the phone that was with the police at the time. Steyn revealed that Khumalo received a call from Fisokuhle Ntuli, accused number 5. He said during his analysis, he discovered that Kelly Khumalo mentioned the phone number that Kelly Khumalo had, received a call from Fisokuhle Ntuli with the number, also mentioning the number of Fisokuhle Ntuli. He drew up the profile. So now he was asked by Baloyi on this one. How did you know that number belonged to Fisokuhle Ntuli? Fisokuhle Ntuli is accused number 5. The one who's represented by Advocate Mshololo. Oh, guys.
Rest. Guys, let's smash that like button. Let us smash it.
Now, he said he drew up these profiles of the 5 suspects, and that's how he found the number belonging to Ntuli. The first call was made on the 2nd of August, 2014.
Yes.
This is like a month or two. Okay, October, going back September. This is like 2 months prior to the incident.
Yes.
At 22:40:47, the phone call was 110 seconds. That's like 2 minutes, approximately. And the second one was made on the 25th of October. Now, this is a day before the incident, 2014. She received a call close to the transmission tower near Kimberley. And I'm like, Kimberley, transmission tower.
Let's go.
Did she have
go.
a performance or something? I don't know. She received
Was
a
it
call.
Kelly or was it
Or maybe
Ntuli?
Ntuli.
Ntuli. It was Ntuli.
Oh, they are pulling from Duli.
Yes.
Okay, see, now I'm getting confused. Now they are pulling from Duli. So the tower near Kimberley is coming from Duli. My apologies.
Yes.
Then she received a call on the 15th of October 2014, 17:33:57. Duration was 98 seconds. That's about a minute. And the tower was 2G Ivydale Farm, somewhere in Limpopo.
And then that's when Ntuli was like laughing. Like he laughed his lungs out.
Limpopo.
With the-
Limpopo, bagaeshu.
With number four sitting next to they were
Barin
laughing.
Ntuli naloko ka 2014. What do you say? What do you say? So the next call, she didn't answer. 2055 for Ntuli. The tower now is 3G Vitdam, somewhere in Kimberley. She received another SMS at 2056 on the same day, in 3 seconds. But there is no party mentioned.
Yeah.
So it's still in the vicinity of Vitdam, though.
Yeah.
The judge asked, why can't the other towers be traced to the corresponding numbers? And then Steyn answered that it's just a default. Sometimes it happens. It's also possible that the pin was not in the reception area, so it was difficult to find the signal. So on the same day, 21:17, this is like 9 o'clock in the evening, 11 seconds, she made a call to Ntuli's alleged number, still in the vicinity of Vetdam. The same day was the 2nd of August 2014, my apologies. On 22:14:49, she received a call from the same number alleged to be Ntuli, still in the Vitdam area. And again on the same day, she sent an SMS to the same number at 22:25:45.
Yeah.
The same day, 22:40:23, she received a call. She was in a 3G, Ntuli was in 3G Kimberley. 2nd of August, 2022, 40:47, received another call from Ntuli. Still in Kimberley. Another call was forwarded to the Petersburg Tower. This is
Yes.
Limpopo again.
Yes.
At 16:19:27 on the 15th of October 2017. Guys, there was a missed call at 17:33:16 on the same day. Received a call from the very same number with different handset, though. It was a different phone. Which means there might have been a swim swap there. So 17:33, she received a call from 17:33:57. She received a call from Ntuli.
Yeah.
So those were
Those were
the
nitty-gritties.
nitty-gritties.
Okay.
Those are too many. Those are too many phone calls.
Too many.
Too many attempt to reach. Too many SMS communication. Too many.
Breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. You have you exhausted everything?
With regards to the phone calls I have,
Yes, with regards to data.
with regards to data, it's exhausting.
Okay. I'm sorry, but I have to do this to your face. Your pretty face. I'm just gonna hide it.
Okay.
So, I'm just gonna be showing you something that looks like a distribution, which is a distribution. So we call it a population distribution, this one, and then below that you would see a sample distribution, and you'll be asking yourself, why now am I in a stats maths class?
Yes, why?
Yeah.
On the YouTube.
I just want you to look at that. I want you to look at that.
Why are we in class?
So, just, Emily, by looking at this, the first one, that is in red. So, that's the population there. There, it's when you are given a task to go collect
Data.
data and you collect every data that is there, every entity that requires you to collect data, you collect it, you come back with it, right? That means if you were to calculate South African people, you would calculate everything that is in South Africa. And then everyone that is breathing, that is in South Africa, even infants. All right. Then you go below that, then you see the samples. So this is what the Stats SA would normally use. When they tell you South Africa has 63 something population, 63 million something population, they don't take the whole data, because there are people obviously who refuse to fill their information there, and they just scatter, put people all around to collect information for research purposes. Okay. Now, in that when they are doing that, I'm gonna explain this thing in a very simple. I'm not gonna use terminologies. Please. So they are saying, we are going to use the small amount of data to estimate the bigger amount of data, which is that red one. But what is more interesting is that depending on how and how much of those sample you pull, you can tell almost 1, 2, 3, 4 different stories. Do you understand?
Yeah.
As you can see, there are 1, 2, 3 distribution, 4 distribution under that whole population. So that means if you decide to take data and you do what you want to do with it, it will tell you the story that you would like to hear.
Boy.
That's what I'm basically driving the story to.
Okay.
So from the population, the only truth would be when you have managed to collect everything, and that's the whole population. But if you use the small amount, you could be lazy and say, I don't have much time and I'm just in a hurry. I'm not going to go to Kimberley. I'm not going to go to Vosloorus to collect data. I'm just going to use KZN and Eastern Cape and maybe Western Cape. And then that is going to be my estimation of the population of South Africa. Right?
Okay.
That's basically you on the smaller one that is looking more flatter. Then the more you collect data, the more you see a bit of that mountain that you see there. That's basically what these things are saying. Done with that.
Okay.
What was I saying about this story?
What
I'm trying to say is that I hear that data was collected, and I hear the theory that is being penned down as we are currently facing this situation. And believe you me, I would wish nothing more than actually seeing the perpetrators being arrested.
Yes.
But do I believe what I heard today? I will still need some convincing. Regardless of the technology and the systems that we were using, there are a lot of things that I'm looking at, and I wish we could have those things. For starters, if you are going to collect data, you must be, in your research, those who have done research, you must be able to point me at your source. So any data that has passed hands, that data can be looked at as a data that is telling the truth. You can choose to believe it or not. So in this case, I choose to stand in the middle. And I don't want to say that, oh yeah, that's the case.
Because there's already conclusions being drawn.
Yeah, it's okay. They can draw those conclusions. But this data went through many hands.
Since
Do you understand?
2014.
And even the time that has lapsed before we started knowing about this data. And just a simple question, Emil. The question is, if you had this information for so long.
Where was it?
Since Senzo's father. When did Senzo's father pass away, by the way? 2018. So you probably had this data from what, 2020?
2014.
2014? Yes. Because you collected, you collected all this information around that time. What was stopping you from acting on it? Up until now?
What is happening?
What was stopping you from acting on it?
Maybe they'll say it was the technology, they didn't have it back then.
No. You talk about your Truecaller. Truecaller was established in 2009. So all these systems were roughly there. America is even more advanced now, using more advanced ones. We're still a bit behind in terms of investigation. So you can celebrate if your intention was to see someone, and also seeing
finally linked.
My theory is that I am not sold that there was a kingpin, someone who said this needed to happen. I am not sold. I'm by no means exonerating those people in the house. I believe that they are telling stories that are really looking somehow
different.
And in my own thinking, when this case de novo, if there's something like that, this the theory that at some point gained momentum, if you remember, there is someone behind. Even Fiso alluded that, he was told that, what was he told?
There's a theory of a mastermind or something.
Yeah,
like
by Minister of the Police when he came home.
Or when he went to see
Yes,
them.
what was there was that theory,
Should we say it? Is it safe?
No, it's public. It's there.
It is public information because that's what Senzo's mother said.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Senzo's mother said that the Minister of Police came and told her that the singer is the one who did it.
Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So that theory has been there for years. It has been there for years. As to what took this time that we are at right now, where we are desperate, and we had to de novo and come back, and things have changed. Things have changed, and now there's that agents that is at this case, the pace of this case. When we are at a speed, I think someone said this thing here on this, that you are most likely gonna overlook things, and you're gonna get excited at doing things fast and getting whatever
I do
that
feel the pace. I'm also feeling it.
Yes.
It's fast.
Yes. And not to only say that, I'm the one to go back and look at people. The judge, up until this colonel, has been so passive in some of the things.
True.
It's like, come on. It's like Baloi paging on that. Forget about this. We're not gonna lead.
We're not gonna focus on that.
Yeah. So that's
whether
more like
we're
that.
in the kitchen or the dining room doesn't matter. I'm like.
So do I believe in my own? This is my own allegation. Do I believe those people have more to tell in the house, from the house? Yes. Do I believe in the theory of Joyce that those people who are in the house know the truth? Yes, I do believe in that theory. But am I sold by this? No.
But what about the fact that he has multiple cases? He was convicted, last year for 200 and something years, if I'm not mistaken. And his crimes are more aligning with doing such things.
But if you look at those crimes, they are different, right? In a sense, it's not your small nyana type of crime. Talking big, right?
But one would argue that even this is big.
Where's the connection?
With the cell phone. No.
When do you meet this person? This is someone who you won't just bump into and be like, hey, look, I've got a gig for you. Come and gig for me.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Where would you meet someone who does these type of jobs?
Obviously, you need someone, and you need to know someone, and
it's
someone
like you need to know, like a referral type of thing. It's not something that you just wake up, look for, and find.
Yes. And if indeed there was something like that, this guy, as you guys are saying, that he was arrested 2016, all along this person is there.
They're not pulling any of the previous crimes he may have been linked to.
Exactly.
As they arrest him. Akiri now, Colonel Steyn has just shared what they can pull. Why don't all police officers at this point have
do that?
such?
Yes. So,
like in one police station, have such a department where you can have a head office
and
of the
and
SAPS,
if you listen,
where you send the referral, you're saying this person just got arrested, please look any other crimes they've done in the past.
and if you listen to what Tifo has been saying, one day I said, when I was told that when a person that you might perceive crazy is speaking, you must listen.
Yeah.
The names that are coming now here, if you check what Tifo has said about them, and that's what is making me even more doubtful. I'm not gonna go into that. Some interviews are there for you guys to go and check. What did Tifo say about some of these police, and that's what I'm looking at. You know, this data, for me, this is for me. This data, this man is not saying I have a source, which is phones. Conveniently, I don't think these phones are still existing. You would have to go like a pocketbook of that guy who was testifying. Probably you would have to go.
Kana his pocketbook is gone.
Disappeared. So you have to look at that. I don't think they are existing now. If you have money and say, okay, fine, I see that you're saying these things called me and whatnot, and I understand what you're saying, but three hands. The first one who downloaded it, giving it to Brigadier, and then it reaches a person. It reaches a person as files. It reaches a person as file. It doesn't come as hardcore. You know, if there were phones are here. Here's what is happening. You know, you can even give that person a chance to say, if you have money, go download it. You will see what I'm seeing. But in this case, how is that possible? Because in my own thinking is that I don't think these phones are there. I don't think that you can go and say, okay, let me redo this whole process and get the information. Yes, karma remembers what you call, it doesn't forget.
Yes.
What you do to other people, it shall come back to bite you.
Yes.
And if you lie if you lie down with dogs, you will wake up with fleas, and that's the problem. That is the problem. And in fact, I even have more quotes. I mean, there's this one that says it does not do to leave a live dragon out of your calculation if you live near one. Do you understand? What I'm seeing is people planning how to do things and what is going to happen and what is going to pan out. Remember the theory of allegedly Mandisa being in the same position that we could be seeing the other one now on the opposite side, and even the sister alluding to that.
Yes, she went on the
it sounded like a theory that it sounded like a theory. Do you understand? It sounded like a theory that was being sold at the time, and it needed to happen. Hence, even Zandi was shouting about it, and everyone was just, why is the wife not looked at? A wife and a girlfriend and all that. But now, we are talking about the girlfriend. It could be, it's allegedly, it could be, allegedly, right now we haven't reached to that. There's links that we're talking about.
That she's not a witness.
Yes.
So she's going to be appearing as a witness.
And all of a sudden, you can see the change of things. Initially, we were almost 90% sure that she's coming as a state witness.
Yes.
Before De Novo.
Yes.
And then, boom, now she's nowhere.
But she did mention, Advocate Mansami, that her client has not been called as a witness in those interviews.
You see?
It was like she's been kept away.
But no one was denouncing that. Right in court. I mean, arguments were made about her.
Yes.
No one ever said, objection, Your Honor, we don't have that person in our list. You know?
No.
No one said that.
No.
So no one even filed like now that we need this person to come and testify. Do you understand? So it was a flowing conversation initially. All was good and flowing and nice. You know?
But now we have a question in our hands. Why is her numbers linked to accused number 5's numbers? Now we are sitting with that question.
Why is what?
Why is Kelly's numbers linked to accused number 5?
I think without saying it out loud, any number can be linked to any number. I can link your number if I have certain level of access. Any number can be linked. That's why I'm saying this data, the credibility of this data
Needs to be tested.
it if you had finances, you would
But it's a cold case. It's going to be difficult.
Do you
and
understand?
expensive.
Exactly. That's why the naming of the cold case and all that.
It's a cold case.
And in all honest, we do want to see justice.
Yes, we do.
But is this how you are going to be fully satisfied as a person?
I think it is sharp.
Yeah. I mean, one can argue that there were a lot of traumas that went to Senzo's family. A lot of traumas, and people during that process they were not
Sympathetic. Empathetic.
Yeah, I didn't see that. You know. Now, when it's pointing at you now, how then do you deal with that? How then do you look at that and say, "Oh, I feel sorry for this person," because and that's exactly that theory, which is going to drive a lot of people to say that
Calling
here we go.
Senzo's mother a witch
You know,
on live television.
allegedly. I don't want to say there was that conviction from the word go from people like Gerinel that these are right people and all that, and we denounce that. Do you understand? We denounce that, but here we go now. We are here. And is this how it closes? Because like this, it almost arrests two people and that's it.
One would say Gerinel was right all along. What do you have to say?
No, I still denounce that.
You still denounce?
I still denounce that. The only problem I have is that the people that are there, I don't believe, I highly doubt that these people, even with this information, I highly doubt that these people. You see, what I see is that the person who came in to testify, the first one, after De Novo and all that.
That's Zandi after De Novo.
Yeah.
Before De Novo.
That person, that order, I'm sure wherever they are so surprised.
Oh, sure, Lorraine.
You know, I'm sure however they are so surprised and they're not believing their eyes.
And when you look at this messaging, it
Yes.
more or less supports this witness who testified today in Tabsing. When she says she saw 3.
But still, it leaves a question marks. There's 5 on the stand.
There's 5 on the stand.
Or at what basis? At what basis are those ones then?
How do we place?
How do you place them on your scene? And the problem is that Ntabiseng was standing outside. Then you cannot say maybe they were outside.
You can't.
Because Ntabiseng is clearly saying that
There was nobody.
there was nobody outside. The street was clear. You see, this is where you start seeing, according to me, all those people who were in the house, if you gave them 375 during that time, they would have taken it, knowing the outcome that could occur now.
With 636.
Yes. They would have taken it. But there was this belief and a very high conviction that
Mantis.
all is well. All is gonna go well. And all of a sudden, and this is where now this saying that if you lie with dogs, you are bound to get fleas. And when as you are busy planning, the other one that I read it is basically saying as they are busy planning, always plan for what could be or who can be planning behind you. Because, what is that one of devil?
What? Don't have dinner or lunch. You are catching me off guard now.
Yeah. So you dish, you sit here with the devil.
With the devil.
Ganti, at some point you don't know what you actually might be part of the plate.
You might be the meal. Yes.
This
eating with the devil only to find out that you are the meal.
Do you understand? So this is my feeling, is that out of all this, only data is linking these people, and that data, I'm not sure if we probably, if you were to ask for a source.
Once Batsi called the case.
Yeah, that means a lot of things that were used are gone. We only have records now. And
where is that phone, Miguel?
It's gone. I think it's gone. I can bet you, man, it's gone.
It would be really handy right now.
And whatever that you could have been doing at that time, maybe it sold you that facade that phone not being present is a good thing.
And you heard when he testified and he said that he pulled from that number that was Ricard, he found that some of the messages were deleted on the day of the incident. He even mentioned the time. It was 1 something o'clock. And he said that
there was a yes,
and that they had to use the internet to you could use internet to delete without having the phone with you.
In fact, let me take my notes.
That part was very juicy. It was interesting. I'm like, what are you saying, Colonel Steyn?
He keeps on submitting that the data at the time of 27 could have been with the police at the time. But then, we go down that theory of there were no calls, basically backing that theory of there were no calls. But then when it comes to the issue again now of data being deleted, then there's that additional of saying that you can actually log in and delete that data, which in my own humble opinion.
Smartphone. At the time, she was one of the few South Africans who had smartphones. It can also mean that you were able to delete the information, the messages, whatever was happening in your phone online without having the phone with you. So he's literally saying, even if the police confiscated the phone, there's a possibility that online you could have gotten in and deleted some of the information.
What if these SMSs that, or whatever that was deleted, is actually going to be pointing us to the right direction of what transpired?
Exactly.
And then conveniently these things that are deleted, they cannot be recovered. Knowing how systems work, there's always a backup of things. And I don't, that's why, that's what actually took me off. I don't believe that you can entirely delete. There's no such things in our days.
Everything can be recovered with a good programmer.
Yes.
With a good systems analyst. With a good IT person, anything can always be recovered. Even if it's deleted.
And who's gonna think at that level of technology to say, actually, if I give the phones and then find some IT guy to come on. For me, how it looks like there was a theory that was in hand and it was going well. I don't know what could have stopped that. This is obviously alleging, and when it hits the wall, and then obvious, one of us must go to the plate, and that's how things are. I don't know. That's allegedly, and then that's obviously me thinking out loud. In my opinion, I'm not saying that. I'm just looking at all these things.
I will take it, Mtagabao.
And that's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm not taking it. I'm taking what I'm getting. But with that in mind,
that connection, he's under oath.
before your colonel and whatnot, with that in mind, you must know that there are still those guys who are there. And are you willing to say, oh, have you changed your mind and you're saying now all those guys who are there,
I don't know what to think.
they should go?
But if he's bringing evidence and he's saying this person and this person talked, who am I to say it's otherwise? They had communication.
Wait.
Look at that long list of calls and SMSs and whatnot.
You are given that information. We haven't reached a stage where these guys are talking to each other. So, with that theory, let's say we end here. It's a word of mouth. It's going to be, if, for example, accused number 5 was to say, Vele, I'm here. You know? Whatever that is given, I'm going with it. And then, what do I need to do? Just say, these people were there. They are all gone.
By word of mouth.
What do you think? Okay.
The case has gone far.
I admit.
Maybe you do have a point.
I admit that I was there. Let's say I'm convinced and I admit that I was there. And then they say, look, one thing. The 5. And I say, okay, sure. These ones were with me. And look, we're from the same area. I don't think some of them were even here in Joburg at that time. If they were.
As you ma ufiso guhlentuli had Limpopo, he
laughed. And that laugh is like, it looks, when you look at him, his life is like, wow, I've been in Limpopo also. You know, that thing.
Maybe he has been. What do we know?
I'm not saying that for the sake of what we could call maybe allegedly karma. Okay, I would take that. Do you understand? If there was something like that, I mean, you inflict pain, then pain must be inflicted back to you. At some point, somewhere, somehow, someone must come and pay. Do you understand? I can take that. But do I believe this issue of data after working with so many data, after what I've showed you?
But you haven't worked with police data.
No. Data is data. Data is data. Data can be anyhow. At some point, it can be worked around. And I normally say this: when you are working data, eventually it confess. When we say data confess, it does what you want it to do. If you wanted to see a positive graph, but you had negative numbers, you just need to times that by negative and positive. It changes, and then you have a positive data.
Put a log. I remember that trick.
Do you understand? Or there are many ways you can manipulate that data, and how you manipulate it, eventually it confers to what you want to see.
Okay.
So let us continue, guys. Let's hear what everyone is saying.
Yeah, I don't know whether I should cover Ntabiseng's testimony or what.
Continue, cover it.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Mshalala, what's this defense strategy now? Mshalala.
It changes everything. It changes everything now.
Cross-examination, Tagama.
It changes everything now. Because now you have to stand up and say, can this data be interfered with?
Or challenged?
Can this data be challenged? Because you are saying that at some point it missed certain things. Can this data be challenged? Do you understand? And that's a different ball game. And knowing how or seeing how the state has been operating, I can almost foresee that probably this is allegedly they didn't have even enough of this information. When it came in, it was like, you know, maybe it comes in today, whereas you are busy reading it. Tomorrow it's being presented, accused number.
Yellow.
Oh, no, not accused. What is this? The person who's testifying. And then they give and the order of things now all of a sudden this could have been, if you remember, it was Msia and then the police why was Colonel not
and
there?
then Tumelo, and then Togo.
Why did you jump
and then
Colonel?
Zandi.
You know?
Now it's Zandi.
And then
And
then from there,
Ngache.
and then Colonel.
And they're like, they are not available. They were probably relieved. Oh, we don't have to show up in court. Now you are going to show up in court with this heavyweight.
And you remember, I did say that at some point with Mtogo, it was a caution type of a thing where I said it could be that mastermind theory. And it could play the other way around. Do you understand? As there was that, if you remember, recall, man, guys, if you were watching those testimonies, those ones before De Novo, there was that kind of, I felt like somewhere, somehow, Mtogo was being thrown under the bus. He was busy with the phone. He was, like there was that playing around with things. But continue, Emily. Let's hear what the testimonies were. I'm not going to talk much after this. I think
you've put your point across. Let's move on. Ramasipele continued with his cross-examination of Ntabise Mugeti this morning. And Ramasipele asked on the 26th of October 2014, at any stage, did your sister Maggie Piri arrive at the hospital? Mugeti said he did not see. Ramasipele asked, you testified about the hat. You said Khumalo held this hat and said it was one of the suspects. Mugeti said, yes, I recall Khumalo holding the hat in her hand, and I'm sure if it was inside or outside.
Before we go to that thing, here's another hint. You remember Tifo saying that hat was actually taken for examination on DA, and then the DNA that came out there is of that of a woman.
Female.
Do you see? And that was shut down. My lord, let the expert come and tell us that.
Same way when he said it is alleged that Kelly Khumalo is the one who pulled.
It was shut down. Before De Novo. De Novo comes back. He comes back after De Novo, this restarting of the case. I think things have changed. We're playing in a different field, we are playing against different team that is looking for a different outcome. That's my thinking.
Well, Ramasipele then asked, where was your sister Maggie Piri? And Ntabiseng said she was not in the premises of the Khumalos during that stage. Ramasipele now asked Maggie about Maggie Piri's statement, in which she says she was outside the house on the veranda. She noticed the hat. Well, it's not Maggie Piri. It is Maggie Piri's statement where she says that Ntabiseng noticed the hat, or they saw Kelly Khumalo's mother noticing the hat. So inside the house, there was a walking stick and a bullet point. Kelly's mom picked up the hat. He read it. So Ramasipele said that based on these two things, are apparent that your sister was in vicinity of the Khumalo household when Khumalo picked up the hat. Then Ntabiseng said, I indicated that I left the hospital with Khumalo to the house. At the house, I don't remember seeing any person. I didn't see Mapiri at the house when we arrived, but it does not mean that she was not at the house at some point. At that time, the rest of the people came from the hospital. Mapiri was in the room with us. So Ramasipele asked, according to your testimony, you and Khumalo returned with police to the house. When did the situation with that hat happen? And then Ntabiseng said she doesn't remember. You said you left the car with Yolanda's child after the shots were fired, and Zandi Khumalo came running to the car. Ntabiseng said yes. Ramasipele referred to her friend Yolanda's statement. Ramasipele says that the statement states that Yolanda says that she took her child inside Ntabiseng's home. And then Ntabiseng said, I see that. You
know, Emily, sorry to disturb you. I'm looking at Mvene here. Guys, it's there. This has leaked before. Even in 2020, Mr. Anonymous, there was an article on these NPA dockets. Yeah. So I urge you to go and watch from the beginning of this case, where Tifo is talking about the history of these dockets being separated, as to why they were separated. At the time, when you were hearing all those testimonies and whatever that Tifo was saying, he was looking like a crazy person. I won't lie to you.
Yes.
When he was standing there, he was all alone. Everyone was sitting down, chilled, and
Yes.
and
He looked like a
and
madman.
if that theory is anything to go by, why would someone crucial take those statements that were important allegedly from the other case to the other case? Just think out. I don't want to go in these things. Just go back and watch from the beginning, so that you get the background of where this case is coming from. We have been following this case since the documentary, before it even started.
Before even the documentary,
The development. So then the theories that were there, we have dealt with them. But if you come here and now you are hearing us saying that the refuting of that other docket was such that they were saying it was just a mere junior advice, that's it. But Tifo, in his conviction, when he was when he was talking, he was convinced that 375 should be standing.
Yes.
And 375 does the same thing, but more
In depth.
do you understand? I like 375 does the same thing, but more. That's my thinking. Then 636. Yes.
So Ntabiseng said, I remember carrying the child and ran with Zandine to the house. And when we got inside, we started shouting for my piri. I then put the child on the mat or carpet. Ramasipili asked, Yolanda's statement also says that when she got inside the house, she put the baby down. And Mukiti said, I don't remember that. So this contradicts Mukiti's statement that she was carrying the child. Ramasipili then asked...
contradicts... Yeah, it contradicts Mkiti in this case, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ramasipili then asked, you also said that when you returned from the hospital, you went to get water in the Khumalo home and police were investigating. Then Mukiti said, yes. While I was getting water, police were also in the kitchen. Ramasipili asked, and yet you are allowed to come in while they are processing the scene, and you even see a silver object and even told the police, is this not what you are looking for? I also found that suspicious.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
You are bound to find that suspicious.
Like,
And there was an argument by Tifo saying that those people who came in to actually collect evidence, they were kind of being pointed at what after, and that's why I'm saying if you find this case here, I think it's gonna be so you're gonna be so confused. You're gonna be
so confused.
Take your time, or if you don't go back, watch our videos because we summarize this case from the beginning and here where we come from.
In our
it was not fashionable at the time to even talk about this
scared.
thing, So now we have 100 and something of people talking about it's good, but please go back and start from the beginning and start following.
Start with the documentary.
Yes.
Okay. Guys, recommend, tell me, do you want me to create a playlist? Because I can do it for you. Let's create a playlist so that you start from the very beginning, so that you understand the development of this case. Because some of you have not been following much, have you?
Yeah, like it's halfway, and you
are still in 2014.
Let us continue.
Mukiti then said, after I walked out of the bedroom, I was careful of my steps, and police even cautioned us not to move around. Ramasipili asked, why did you say to the police, is this not what you are looking for? Then Mukiti said, at this time I was taking my steps. I did not expect I was going to see that object on the floor, which was the silver object. Then Tabiseng said it's something that one could hear as police were investigating, that there were items they were looking for something. How I can when you went to the kitchen to fetch water, right, from the tap.
Yeah.
Now, how are you hearing all of the details that the police are saying that they're looking for?
He was snooping. He could even see a long way, having interview.
That's why I said, is this not what you are looking for? Heba Tumbamidim. Tabiseng, little Twarites. Then Ramasipile then said, when Zandi came running to you saying, call the ambulance, Senzo was shot. Did she tell you who the perpetrators were? And then Mukiti said she didn't explain. Ramasipile asked, when she said to you, call an ambulance, why did you not call the ambulance? And Mukiti said, I was shocked. People were running. I heard gunshots. Perhaps I wasn't thinking straight. So Ramasipili then asked, you described the 3 men running towards the park in terms of build. How was the one wearing the hoodie? Then Mukiti said he was taller and bigger than the other 2. Ramasipele finished with his cross-examination, and then Advocate Charles Mnisi for accused number 3 came up next. Now, Mnisi said the items you pointed at, asking police if it's not what they were looking for. What was it like? Then Mukiti said it was a tiny object and silver in color.
And I don't think that I would have explained it like that.
How would you have explained
I would have said it was a bullet.
So
straightforward.
why
Like,
is she explaining it like that?
to create an impression of a layman.
But a layman would not even have seen that.
No. Okay, well, you have seen it now. By the grace of God, you have seen it. Now, the explaining of how this thing,
there.
you
They're
know,
gonna find it.
they're explaining. No, you are eager. I mean, you've just seen the situation. You want to help by all means. Oh, by all means, you are going to help. And the fact that there were people already in that house, and then you, all the way from hospital, you are here to pick things here. Already, there is that narrative that there were police there already, right?
Yes.
So you come all the way after they were looking for these things, and then you find these things. You don't find. Okay.
You know, this thing of making professionals look like amateurs, even with the doctor situation at the hospital, I'm like, kept saying, what is your problem? Why? Why are you doing this to yourself?
You know, it's always, you know what I normally do when I help someone after an incident? I always stand outside. Because I don't want to find myself in a situation where I have to assist.
And testify to things.
Thinking that I'm smart, and only to find that you are actually looking at the wrong side.
You are in the court sweating. Mnisi then asked, do you know what happened to that item after you pointed it out? And then Mukiti said, police said I shouldn't touch anything, so I don't know. I went back into the bedroom. Mnisi asked, you said you were seated in a vehicle outside your sister's yard with your friend. And Mukiti said, yes. What was the duration you were seated in the car until you heard the first shot? Then she said she doesn't know. You know what's interesting about Mukiti's testimony is the time frames are only mentioned in the examination that she's doing with Advocate Baloi. Everything else
and the initial cross-examination by the first lawyer, and then after that, as usual, you go to sleep. Like, there is a benefit of being at the beginning, and I'll tell you that from these lawyers. Why I say that is that you get a tired but fresh person, in a sense that they don't sleep and dream that they shouldn't be talking about time, and the following day they are not interested in talking about time. By the way, Emil, if you were to plan something,
yes,
that Manje, I want to take out this person, and then you would definitely let go of any evidence. But in this case, let's say that was the case. One phone was gone. and you leave the one that you should get rid of? I'm just thinking out loud because I'm looking at the
Hell to
comments
the
here.
no,
Do you
to
leave
the
the one
no,
that kind of, you know?
No, I would get rid of the one that has the most evidence.
Exactly. Why leave the one that could implicate you? Just thinking out loud. Let's go.
Then Mnisi said, you said the time interval between the first and the second shot was about 15 minutes. And then Mukiti said, that's what I said, but when times are concerned, I can't remember well. And I do have the desire to assist, but I don't remember the time frames. Mnisi said, if you say you and the Ngaches are neighbors, how so? And then Mukiti said, our house is directly opposite to the Ngaches. So from where you were seated, were you able to see the Khumalo gate? And Tabiseng said, while inside the car, I couldn't see it. While getting out of the car, as Zandi came out running towards the car, I was up and flexible. I could see the gate. Nisi then said, from where you were seated in the car, that was the distance to the Khumalo gate. Ntabiseng said, from the guy sitting in the community to where the pink lady with the jacket is sitting. So she was estimating the distance using the people that were in the court. So there was a guy who was sitting in next to the computer. I think he was the clerk, the court clerk, and then another lady wearing a pink jacket or pink top. So she indicated that she was facing, sitting in the car, and that Zandi's house was on the side behind her. She now could see that she could now see Zandi's home, and Zandi's home was on the other side. Their home were on the other side. Kaya's home was opposite their home. So the judge asked for that estimation, and they estimated it to be about 7 paces. So Mnisi then said, from where you were seated in the car, what was the distance to the Ngaches gate? Then Tabiseng said only a street separated them. So the Ngaches are directly opposite our house.
Yes.
Ngaches small gate is on the side of Zandi's home.
So there, I felt like she was running away from answering that question of, did you see anyone jump? That's my feeling. I'm feeling like that.
Then Mnisi said, thank you for that, ma'am. That is good for you because you know the place. Me and Court don't know the place. That is the reason why. But before he could finish, they asked him to speak louder, asking what was that by the judge. And he said, you give us a clear picture because you know the place. And Tabiseng was like, thank you as well. Now, I could feel a bit of tension. I don't know whether it was me, but the judge was somehow, I felt like he was coming from Nisi. But you know, he does it with humor and jokes. Nisi said, but now me and the court. And the judge said, now the court has no idea because I'll tell you why I'm looking at the photos. Why are you not showing the witness the photos like your learned colleague, Mr. Baloi, did yesterday? It's an ordinary township road.
You know,
it's not like Ilof Street with 4 lanes.
Today, I sort of defaulted back to Mr. Afro, where English in criminal law is important.
Yeah.
Like labor law. This is like labor law. It felt like labor law, where you are being corrected in
speak the correct terms.
Yeah. So that's how I felt. That's how I was feeling. I was like, That's why I'm saying that the speed is too fast. It's too fast. And then when we reach these points of such as this one, then we are slow. We take time.
Yeah.
We can even repeat. Please tell us what is it called? IAM something. IAMI. Explain that. IP. Explain that. Call them by the names and all that. And if you look, the eye contact, follow it is a smile, and then just glance at the judge and then continue.
But I must say, I'm proud of Mnisi. I'm proud of how he handled the situation. this is just the first jab. More are coming. So there's a possibility that there's only two cars going in the opposite direction. So, and he said, assist the witness.
I saw today in these defense lawyers, and I have to give credit where it's true.
Yes.
I saw them standing up for themselves.
Yes.
I saw them, even Sholon, at some point, stood and said, he didn't say, it's okay, my lord. He wanted answer. She wanted an answer. And the judge seemingly was, to me, looking like he was answering on behalf of this person and sort of shielding the person, and then sort of said, I need an answer from the person.
From the person.
My lord.
I also was happy with that.
That was very good. That was very good. I like that. That showed character. And determination. And one thing that is important, confident. You know, if you are not confident, you will end up sitting down.
True.
And not asking questions, even if you have to ask questions. And that's what these judges are capable of doing. They have power, obviously, are sitting there.
Yes.
But you need to, and that's probably the reason Tifo was kicked out.
Because I had no patience. Advocate Tifo had no patience for this nitty-gritties and language and decorum. What? Hey.
Let us not fool. Let us not fool this defense. You must know that.
No, you
there was a colleague in the very same court.
Yes.
Who was escorted by the police.
Yes.
So
don't take it there.
Don't take it that far. But I liked it.
Never I prefer advocate Tifo. Give me advocate Tifo any day. Like, don't waste my time. Get to the point. Okay?
Xolile, I hear what you are saying. I remember the statement. But why did they die? Xolile, let's continue.
And also, Mnisi said, I don't know the streets in the township. I think they differ. So Shanguve, Steyn, Frosloras, and everywhere. Streets differ in their sizes. From where I come from, the streets are very wide. And then the judge is like, where do you live, sir? And she said, from Kwandebele. And the judge is like, is this streets because you just walk in the felt? And I'm like, ouch.
You see? And
ouch.
And that you know, people must not. We cannot confuse a joke with lack of sense of humor. That was lack of sense of humor, right there. Where you do it with a smile.
Ouch.
And I don't like people like that. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like people like that who pretend as if they're joking, but their joke is hitting home.
Felt. I'm like, what? There are streets. What is you talking about? People don't walk in the felt. Why would you say that?
I guess it's a tendency of people from Soweto. I'm sorry to say this.
Then Minister said, can you please estimate of where you were seated to the Ngaches? And then Tabiseng said, from the vehicle, I would take no more than 10 steps to get to the Ngaches. Nisi asked, the distance to where you were sitting in the car to the Ngache place, is it even shorter from where you were seated to the gate of the Khumalos? Then Tabi said, that is so. Nisi, at the time you were sitting in the vehicle and Zandi came running to you. Was there a vehicle in the neighbors? And Tabi was like, I did not take any notice. So Nisi said, let me be specific. Was there any other vehicle that was parked outside the yard of the Khumalos?
Yes.
Then Tabiseng said, I was not aware, but when Zandi came out there was no car parked there. Nisi tried to push and said, let's be calm about the situation and not be too emotional. I wonder what he noticed in Tabiseng for him to say that comment, but anyway, we move. And Tabiseng said, yes,
Emily,
I understand, sir.
Can you pause? We have 1,100 views. We have 500 likes. Can we wait for people to like?
Can the likes go a little bit higher? Encourage us with your likes.
We are edging.
We are begging.
I haven't slept for like 8 hours in a long time, guys. We do this thing with love. Please show us love and passion. Please show us love. And that being said, I just want to look at what Sizwe is saying here. But Mr. Anonymous, how can they want to frame Kelly if we already know that it's Kelly who killed Senzo? Remember the defense of Tifo. Tifo did not come there to defend those people because he believed that they did it. In his defense, it was that those people are not part of this. Where did that disappear? If anything that now is penning out, because everything that seemingly Tifo had talked about is kind of one way or another coming up. You know, why is it now throwing these people under the bus? I'm not saying I fully obvious. You must have your own mind and think, but you know.
And you also have to note, if you've been following the channel, then you know that we reported on the instance when the Novo case started, and it was hinted or alleged that Advocate Tifo was advising accused 1 and 2 to get new legal counsel.
And even Sfiso, you know, Sfiso was on television saying those. In fact, he said those boys, abaziluto. It's not them.
So what did that go? Where did it go now?
Who am I to believe otherwise from the brother?
Where did it go now? Like that's very interesting.
But let's continue.
So from the moment that you and your friend sat in the vehicle up until you heard Zandi saying something had happened, did you observe any motor vehicle that was parked inside Zandi's yard? And then Thabiseng said no, there was no vehicle. So Thabiseng said that no, outside of the yard there was no vehicle. Nisi asked, the reason why I'm asking is because Zandi told this court that her boyfriend's car was parked outside the yard. Then Baloyi stood to object, to say that I don't think that is her evidence, my lord. I think she said it was on the premises. So now the judge is asking, are we in different courts? Mr. Baloyi, what's your version? And Mr. Baloyi was like, my recollection is that she said the vehicle was parked inside the premises, not outside. So Mnisi was insisting that his notes said differently, that the car was parked outside. And the judge said, you know, in law, there's an immaterial contradiction and a material contradiction. Are you dealing with a material contradiction? And then Mnisi was like, my lord, that is a bigger picture. Then the judge said, it's material. Mnisi said, yes. So Mnisi requested for a short adjournment to look and compare of what was exactly said by Zandi. But then when they returned from the adjournment, Mnisi said the person who was responsible for the operating of the recording machine also took the short adjournment. So they didn't get a chance to listen to the recording. The judges said it was parked inside. If it was parked inside, the SMS Longo said, I'm outside. Then maybe he was parked inside the yard.
You see, this disinterest, like, on these things that were important, eventually, today for me, it panned out differently. And I was like, oh, okay. Now, I kind of,
Mnisi said, Zandi said the car was parked outside. Now you are saying you did not see the vehicle parked there. Then Tabi said, I don't recall seeing a car parked there. Mnisi said, as you were sitting there, you heard a bang. Few seconds thereafter, did you notice anyone jumping into the Ngache gate in the Ngache yard? And Tabiseng said, no, after witnessing one or the first gunshot, a person ran past us towards the park. So Mnisi then asked the dreadlock issue. You said the reason why you said one of them had dreadlocks was because they were running and the hair was flapping in the air. And the judge said, she saw some person who had dreadlocks, not that she assumed that because the hair was cascading up and down, then it means this person had dreadlocks. The evidence is positive. I saw a person with dreadlocks that were up to the neck.
Yes.
Tabi then said they were not that long. She said, I paid attention to them as he was running down, going to the direction of where the first one ran. This is interesting with your statement, Wayne Tabsen, because you are noticing the dress, but you're not noticing what they're wearing.
No. It's wish.
And then Tabsen said, you said that the reason why you said one of them had dreadlocks is because they were flapping in the air. Yeah, the judge then interfered. Well, I also feel like the judge stands up a lot for the witnesses, you know. He's doing it a lot, and it's starting to make us nervous.
I think from me, it did from the last 2 days. I had that boiling blood. I had it, but today I think I'm more relaxed. You know, I am more calmer. You know, I know that I'm the odd one here in this house, but it's okay.
Then Missy said, Ramusipele asked you how the lighting was and the visibility was, and you said it wasn't too dark. Then Tabi said, I could only see close to the vicinity. Beyond that, I could not see clearly. At what point when you were sitting in the car did two others pass you? Then Tabi said there was the first gunshot and one person passed them. Then when the second gunshot went off, it was sounded close to them, and two others came running down the street. They were not running fast, they were running one after the other in the same direction. So Mnisi asked, when you observed them running towards the park, you were still sitting in the car? Then Tabi said yes. And you were able to see the dreadlocks? She said yes. Do you know a perm? Other people grow in different shapes and sizes. And Tabi said, the only perm style I know is the afro. I don't know the types of perms. I would have made an example of Lion Richie, which is what Mnisi was saying in his heydays. And then Baloy objected to ask if there was any relevance to this line of questioning. Then Mnisi withdrew the question. Mnisi found a colleague in court who operated the machine and wanted to make an example. And the judge wanted it to stop and said that the witness only knows one type of perm. So yeah, that was very interesting encounter.
I still say initially first few, and then after watching the videos, I went back to watch the videos of the judge. He's more calmer on those videos than this one. For me, that's for me. He's more calm on the other. Yes, he does enjoy talking, but he's more calmer.
Okay, Mnisi said, I put it to you that the suspect who had dreadlocks could not have allowed you to observe him because, number one, he was seated in the vehicle. Number two, the gentleman came running past you. Worst of all, it was dark. Therefore, you could not have seen the dreadlocks. And Tabiseng was like, I want to reiterate, the person I saw had dreadlocks. Okay.
Yes.
So the judge said, what about the gentleman with the hoodie? And Mnisi finished his cross-examination. That flew, like, that was a hint right there. The hoodie. But Advocate Mshololo got to it, okay? So Khumalo had no cross-examination yet again today. Didn't hanga Khumalo, guys.
Khumalo is relaxed.
Akafuna ukukatala.
He's saving his energy.
He doesn't want to be tired. He just wants to be like, okay, this witness is not important. They haven't linked my client yet, so... You know? So Mshololo then started with her cross-examination, which was very interesting. And Mshololo said, when you signed your first statement on the 27th of October 2014, the incident was still fresh in your mind. And Mokete said, yes. It says you saw 3 unknown black males. I could not identify them as it happened fast and it was dark. And you signed that. And Mokete said, yes, it is so. Now that you're testifying in court, you are changing that. And Baloyi said that it can be put to the witness in which respect is she changing that. It's an ambiguous question. Then Mshololo rephrased the question by asking, now in court you are able to give descriptions of the males. And Mugiti said, I cannot point them because I did not see their faces. That was what I was explaining in the statement based on how I was asked questions.
You see, from there, where it got off for me, it's when she couldn't remember time all of a sudden, where she was giving us time almost verbatim yesterday. And then all of a sudden, she's got a very serious amnesia of time.
She can't even estimate.
Yeah, she doesn't even want to estimate. She looks like she didn't even want to estimate. That to me, I was like, okay, I'll still listen because we know it. But
Mshololo then said in your statement, the description of the man with dreadlocks and the one with the hoodie is not contained in there in the first statement made in October 2014. And Ntabiseng was like, perhaps the manner in which the question was asked did not prompt me to give the description. Haibo, Ntabiseng. Haibo. Then Mshololo then said, the police were not given that information on October 2014 until today. Ntabiseng said, I cannot recall, but when the questions were posed, it said I would be able to point them out. I said no.
Yeah.
Exactly, Ntabiseng. So why is it changing now in court? Then Mshololo then said, the police were not told that you saw a person with a dreadlocks and one with a hoodie. You are only telling us that today. Then Ntabiseng said, yes. Yes, and I actually love this emphasis that Mshololo took and this direction. So Mshololo said, the reason you're only given the description of these two African males today is because you're fabricating the story. And then the judge corrected Mshololo to say that she's fabricating the description, not the entire story. So she had to now rephrase her question and remove the word story.
Yeah, from there I had to drink water because it was.
Ntabiseng answered by saying that she was there. She knows what she saw. Even with the police the next day, she knows what she testified. So yesterday when she was asked questions, she was told to relate everything that happened. And she said, I did not initially give description. Only when a question was asked to me was I able to finish that description after I was asked about the description. Now this sounded to me like a person who came prepared. Then Mshololo then said, did you see what the person who had dreadlocks was wearing? Then Ntabiseng said she couldn't remember. So Mshololo said, okay, you said the other one was wearing a hoodie. What color was it? And Tabi said, I can't remember. Did they have anything in their possession? And then Tabi said, no, I can't remember. So Mshololo asked, is it your evidence that you heard 3 gunshots that were fired after the 3 men passed away from you? You had another gunshot. And then Ntabiseng said, yes, the 3 had already passed away from you. Yes, that's correct, Ntabiseng said. Did you see any of them fire a shot? Then Mokete said, no. Did you see from which house that they came from? Then Ntabiseng said, no. As you were sitting inside the car and all those shots were being fired, did you see anyone coming out of the Khumalos jumping into the Ngajes? Then Mokete said, not at all. Then Mshololo said, from the time that the gunshots started being fired up to the time when you saw Zandi Khumalo coming to you, you never saw anyone coming from the Khumalo home state. Then Ntabiseng said, not at all. Mshololo asked, did you say where you were seated, you were able to see the Ngache premises? Ntabiseng said, when I opened the door and stand up, I was able to see the Ngache premises. So is there any stage where you saw anyone jumping from the Khumalo house to the Ngaches? Ntabiseng said, no. Did you see anyone jumping from the Ngaches back to the Khumalo household? Mokete said, no. So besides the house being cordoned off, being part of the community, you were still able to access the house when you came back from the hospital. Then Mokete said, I can't remember if the tape had been placed when we arrived with the police at the house, but I know I came back with Khumalo and the police and we accessed the house. And you were able to access the kitchen where the shooting incident took place. Then the judge interfered and said, no, she and Khumalo Khumalo were invited by the police. Okay. Ntabi said, indeed, I accessed the premises because I was with the police from the hospital. So Mshololo asked, I don't have a problem with whether she went with the police. I'm asking about the access to the kitchen. Yeah. And then Mshololo said, is it correct that you found yourself inside the house, even to the kitchen? Ntabi Singh answered and said, I don't know where the incident transpired, but I did get to the kitchen. And then Mshololo said, thank you. And she had no further questions. Advocate Baloyi started with his re-examination of Ntabise Mokete, and after showing photo exhibits, Baloyi asked, when you returned with Khumalo from the hospital, was the tape there? And then Ntabise said she can't remember well. Then showing another exhibit, Baloyi asked, when you went to get water in the kitchen, do you remember if that cone was there? And Ntabise said, I can't remember well. When we arrived at the police, the cone was not there. Baloyi asked Mokete to show where she got the water from on the picture. So Mokete beamed and she said she was trying to remember, but there was a window and a sink. She pointed to the window that is close to the kitchen door inside the house. There was a sink there. Ntabise Mokete said she was asked about a question that was posed by Advocate Ramosipili yesterday, where he asked whether there was light when they were sitting in the car. Ntabise said, I don't remember close to my home there being an Apollo light, but in our area there's an Apollo light. It could be that light came from the Apollo light, because an Apollo light is able to give light where it can give light.
Okay, I want to ask everyone a question.
Okay, we are ready.
It's just a question. Do you think these guys, do you think now these guys now and then are coached? And if your answer is yes.
Yes.
If your answer was yes, it's allegedly. If your answer was yes, why do you think they are coached?
Because their answers, they become refined with each day.
And another question is, Emil, why take all these boys, Ndanzi and the others, the two, make them go through all these things while something that links Kelly, or not Kelly, let me say Kelly's number, is already there in jail? Why don't you do the same thing that these guys are complaining about to that guy? To get the answers. Let's say it happened. Let's say those guys indeed, they were, as the families are also attesting to that, to say that they were beaten. Why not take someone that really has hard link and say, Chief, we're going to deal with you. We're going with you to the bush. When this person is in your spaces, is in jail already. So simple as that, and you get your answers. Why go all the way and then come back and say, yeah, actually the hot link is this person?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's gonna be a lot of gray.
I don't know. Okay.
It's gonna be gray. But look, in my honest opinion, now is that if the people in the house, and I'm gonna say if in this case, obviously I have my own belief, if they did lie, I would have been more happier to see all of them go through
what the accused are currently going through.
If they did, that is if they did lie. So I would be more happy to see all of them, because they are friends there. You know, they are people that Senzo called friends there. There are a lot of things there.
I remember hearing about the game theory while I was studying economics, where they say that even the police use the same theory, when they are accusing multiple people in a crime and they're looking for the perpetrator, they would put them in different rooms and say that this person has confessed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and wait. And see who was going to sing first.
Exactly.
In separate rooms. And I'm like, aren't those interrogation techniques? Because this is all they needed on the 27th of October.
Simple thing. You manna comes from heaven. You get your person.
In fact, they should not have let them sleep. On the 26th, after the incident, crying. So don't we are
go
going to the police
like
station.
they do to all of us. You know, like they do to all of us. You know?
They put you in separate rooms and they're like, okay, what happened?
Why, Olo? Why this special glass treatment?
They waited for them to cry. They said they couldn't speak. That doesn't happen to some of us, okay?
No, they nenyembe zakho bakudonsa ulibhola unjalo
Ungena
bewungena.
venini.
Bekufaka ngemuva.
Emuva.
At the back of it, in fact, you are going to feel those bumps. For some of us who are from villages,
They're going to ask you what happened. Especially if you were in the vicinity of the incident.
You will wish you were not there.
So I don't know what happened that night. Why that could not happen it just baffles me. But then moving on, Baloy then you were asked about the time intervals between the second and the third gunshot and said it was shorter. You estimated it to be within seconds. You were then asked about the first time interval between the first and the second gunshot. You said it was 10 to 15 minutes. This is the problem here. When Advocate Nisi asked you, you said you were not sure. Ntabi saying now she could remember. That is because she said that she was not certain of the times, but she knows that it was very short. Okay? Then Baloy asked, after that second shot, you and Yolanda managed to come out of the vehicle. And then Tabsing said yes, that was after we saw people passing by running. And Baloy wrapped up his re-examination because he could see high corner. It's not going according to allegedly. Tabsing fumbled today. And then the judge asked, you said you cried when Zandile told you that Senzo was shot. And then Tabiseng said, yes, I was shocked when she said he was shot and that an ambulance should be called. I took the child and went together with her into the house. I don't remember wailing. I don't remember wailing. Like that cry, that emotionally intense, filled with screams type of cry. And she said, emotionally, I was shocked and scared. Tears were in my eyes, but I don't remember crying hysterically and wailing. The judge said, did Zandi cry? Then Tepsing said, yes. The judge asked, was she acting? Because there's an assertion that was put that they might have killed Senzo. Then Tabiseng said, it didn't look like that. The judge said at the hospital, they were crying. The judge said, what about Kelly's mother? Did you observe her while she was wailing when she was told that Senzo was no more? Then Tabiseng said, I remember before they told her Senzo passed on, she would hold him on the back of his legs. The back of his legs. She kept saying, Senzo, please don't do this to us. She was saying it in Zulu. So, what will we say to the Meyiwa family? That was Kelly's mother. After they told her that he was gone, she screamed.
Yes.
So the judge asked, was it also playing acting? Then Tabiseng said it didn't appear like that. Kelly, did she cry or wail or grieve? Tabiseng said she cried from the time they arrived in the hospital and they were taking him out of the car into the stretcher. The stretcher was being pushed inside and Kelly was crying painfully.
Why did the judge ask that question?
I don't know.
I,
'Cause- 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 I don't know.
Okay, let's continue.
Then Thabiseng said Tumelo and Thokozisi and Zandi, were they crying? The interpreter said that the witness was now becoming emotional. Thabiseng was becoming emotional and wiping tears. Because they say those people were also part of the conspiracy which resulted in the murder of Senzo. That's why I'm asking whether this grief was genuine or all part of the act. That's why the judge asked Mr. Anonymous. He was saying that reason right there, that he's heard the conspiracies. Maybe they were acting, yabo. So Thabiseng said it appeared as though they were hurt, sir. So the judge concluded and Mshololo stood up, which I felt proud of.
Yeah.
She asked, do you know the difference between genuine tears and crocodile tears? Then Mukiti said, I have never seen crocodile tears. That's not a good answer.
It's a good answer. I've also not seen. I know that say that.
You've never seen crocodile tears.
Have
That's
you
a
seen
figure of speech. It means, do you know the difference between a person who's crying genuinely and a person who's faking it?
She answered it well. I think the last question I would give her that. Okay. I was happy with how they conducted, even Ramusipil. I was happy with that. I was really happy with how they move.
Okay, that was it, guys.
But guys, honestly speaking, do we think that I see that you are giving accused number 5 his flowers in terms of what he does? If that is the case, then would Longwe have that chance of heading that guy? Look at him.
No, that's another question. I'm imagining him holding a gun. Yo, I don't see it happening. I don't think Longo would have made it out of there alive. That's my opinion.
I was joking, but that was a joke. Soweto people are good people. I have a family around that place.
We love you, Soweto people. Okay, we love you so much. It was just a joke.
It was just a joke.
We love Soweto too. I mean, I grew up in a township, not Soweto, but yeah.
Yeah, so I do go
know
there.
the township
I visit that place time to time. Let's answer this. Zanzi, hello.
Good evening, guys. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, man. You know, if I was those 5 guys,
yeah,
I would really feel like I am defenseless. I have no lawyer.
Yeah,
because those lawyers are all intimidated. They are not performing at their best. They are scared. They are scared of the interference of the judge. Some people are saying the judge is intervening. There's a difference between intervention and interference.
Yeah,
and they is busy interfering with the cross-examination of the defense, which is unfair.
Yeah,
and you will never hear him object to anything that Vaseline is saying.
Yeah, that's
For instance, this guy that was presenting evidence today, a sober judge would ask this guy the very question that you asked him, Mr. Anonymous. Where is the source of that information? And besides, this thing of saying the SMSs were deleted or whatever, that thing is not true. You can delete information does not fit on the internet. The Regulation of Interceptions of Communications Act, which is the RICA, it states that information must stay with the service providers so that it can be accessible when needed by the authorities. You see?
Yes.
Now the comment that I want to make is that, you see, when people say this is a kangaroo court, it simply means there's no justice there. Because the ones that are presiding over the case, it's like the case of Mahaili, that the host. Hosi believes, I'm the one in operation here, and everybody counts again now.
Yeah.
If there's any community member who wants to speak for this boy who has messed up, that person gets trembled like a kangaroo would tremble on a victim. That's why they're called kangaroo court. This is what happened. This is what happened in the case of Steve Biko, and the guys involved were found not guilty. This is what happened in the Rivonia trial, and these guys, regardless of the concrete evidence that was given to the court, but they were sentenced to life imprisonment. You see. So this is exactly what is happening here, because the authorities have got the powers, and they're using those powers to trample over people's rights. And for me, this whole thing is theatric. That is why I'm no longer interested in analyzing the evidence of the witnesses.
Yeah.
I'm now looking at this new evidence that is brought by this guy. And if you remember, there's a technique that is used by Vaseline here, because there was that letter. I don't know whether it was a public letter or what. That was written by Lorraine against Kelly.
Yes.
In which she mentioned a lot of bad things about Kelly. See, now money can be very dangerous. You can kill your sibling because of money and anything. Now, if you are promised to say, remember this docket is saying all of you must be charged. But if you hand over your sibling, we will leave you. You see. So, and in closing, you remember on the night of the 26th.
Yes.
When police came in Alberton.
Yes.
And according to this guy Mazala.
Yes, Mazala.
A call was made by Kelly. And after that call was made, the cops did not force their entry. They were told to go back.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden, there's an expert who brings a sourceless information and even lying to say information that has gone over 3 years cannot be accessed. That's not true. Yes. Now, before I go, I want to read you just a small thing here, and then I leave you.
Okay.
Let me just go through it. Now, this thing says, a former military intelligence operative with inside knowledge of the working of the NCC stated that to his knowledge, the NCC bulk communication facility sorry, this thing just went out now. Okay, I'm back to it. It says in bulk communications facilities had been used in the past to intercept the communications of the Hawk, various South African banks and government officials. And then it concludes by saying none of the above sources could provide details about the exact brand of technology used, the manufacturer or the distributor. You see? So it's not true that you can tell which cell phone. That is why the story of cell phones could not be accessed, because it was 3 years. You see? And then, on the other hand, this thing says there's a zebra system. And according to this zebra system, it allows law enforcement officers to go back in time. So there's no 3 years here. It allows law enforcers to go back in time to find relationships between people based on their conversations and to identify new suspects. It allows the investigators to identify targets and discern relationships which may have their origins years into the past.
Yes.
That's it. I'll stop there. But it's a whole intelligence document, and I've sent it to you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Everything's alleged.
It's allegedly.
What we can prove, we'll prove. But at least we are thinking now. That's the main.
Conversations.
Zanzi, hello. Zanzi, hello.
Zanzi, Mr. Anonymous.
Hi, how are you, sir?
Mr. Anonymous, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm all right. And you?
I'm good. I hope I'm here on the show. The show is here on.
Yeah, you're in the show and your minute has started.
Oh, okay. So, well, two things. This is Jafet calling from the United States.
Okay.
This is my second time calling. I just wanna think on two aspects. The first one is the two dockets.
Yeah.
I think the judge. I look at the judge. The judge is trying to push in the theory, or like he's trying to disclaim. I mean, he's just trying to push away the theory of the people inside killing Senzo. That's why she's leaning more, and his comment is like trying to dismiss that theory. Now, the second thing here, Aloy, in contrary, with his team, they are trying to push the idea of Mr. Mind. That's why, if you remember well, Zandi was saying something about like after the incident, they were trying to call them. That there's a number from a cell phone that was taken, was trying to call them. Now today, it appears that there's like another call, like it's linking the accused number 5 to Kelly Khumalo, a cell phone number that somehow got out or something like that. So those are the two aspects I'm trying to look at here. And if you understand the whole thing, that they're pushing in the mastermind. So that Gabi, the number 5 guy, is the criminal. The two first guy, accused number 1 and 2, they're just trying to use the as puppet. Like, those are the guys that got sent to go inside. But now, the bigger story is coming now with the accused number 5. Like, as a criminal, he knows something. That's why they're trying to push that theory. This is just my understanding. And thank you for letting me come through. And I'm watching your show and keep on doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. 1 minute. For now, WhatsApp is off because WhatsApp is disturbing us. I will open it. 1 minute.
Let's keep it short, guys, because there's so many people who are calling in.
Now. Let's keep chasing the sun. Do what can be done.
Oh, got cut.
Call in. Keep
Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello. All right. Mzansi, hello.
Molweni butini njani?
Sikhona mfethu njani?
Ndiyaphila nam, molo nawe sisi.
Molo.
Ke sisi. Yo amani ngabiko mde bantu bemfishane. Buti mama niqale apha ne. Benike ndathi izolo le jaji isosi jaji.
Yeah.
Cha abantu bamjonga nje ngenye indlela isosi yejaji nje. Ezi questions afuna uqiniseka ngazo azazibuzayo. There's something ngazo. Benike ndathi usoloko eshiya something new. If ever uzilandele izinto amane ezithethe and ezijoke asoloko ezenza. If awuzilandeli usengxakini.
Yeah.
Manje apha kudala kwi-finance kwi-stage ubhaloyi uluza kubantu abebezendlini uluza kubantu abaphandle, you see. That's because lo mama lona asihlangani istory sakhe, you see. Akho story sihlanganayo pha, yebo. Cha eyona nto ngokindethusileyo ile ka Kelly Khumalo ebethetha nalo nasika nalo accused number 5.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
So I think ngoku story sizawuhlala phansi kwa-accused number 5 nalona sika no Kelly. And into bendiyicinga wona bhuti andiyazi andizazi ezintweni bengabhali uba uKelly Khumalo eclipse sechajiwe by now.
Exactly. That's
because kaloku umkho accused kaloku uNansika uKelly. That's because uNansika oaccused wakhe uphanga phakathi. You see? So why bekumele bakasha bekumele kwangela xesha bayahambile amapolisa ayamthatha athatha uKelly Khumalo ayophendula uba udibana njani nomuntu oNansika oaccused ngothini ngodubula uSenzo. Yeah. Otherwise uVaselina akana case and then umjaji mnikeni chance ndiyayikonza abantu abayithandi kahle ndibona ngusosi lowa. Yebo. Uyiphethe kahle and uyayikhawulezisa le case uzawukhawuleza njengoba ndiva kuthiwa kune-weaknesses eziyi-70 something. At least noko uyayikhawulezisa. Masilinde judgment yakhe. Otherwise uyiphethe kahle icase. Enkosi futhi.
Thank you. Everything is alleged.
Oh, but those jokes, ziyakhuluma shame. They speak.
Mzansi, hello.
Hey, Mr. Anonymous and Emily, how are you?
Hi.
We're good.
I'm lucky today. Oh, what a painful story, guys. The Meyiwa family and the whole country at the mercy of two people.
Oh.
There's an interview that Chico Twala did. I think it was Newsroom, if I'm not mistaken. I was shocked. Chico, Kelly, and what's the child? Longwe. They know the truth. So Chico, I think as a father, cannot tell the truth, but he wants Kelly and the son to be the ones to tell the truth. I remember it's not an allegation. I can find the video and send it to you guys.
So until such time, it's still an allegation here.
Yeah, but it's not an allegation because it's a video. I know it was on TV. He said, my son and Kelly, they know the truth.
Oh yeah, I remember.
So you remember that?
Yes.
So I'm just feeling the pain, man, for the family. You see, even if, let's just say, Kelly hates the Meyiwa family, or maybe she's got something in her heart that makes her to be so hard. Why hold the truth for so long if you know it? Because Chico cannot just say such words as a father to Longwe. And there is a reason why Chico was the one that was called. And why would the father say, Kelly and my son, they know the truth, whereas the people that killed Senzo are those guys or one of those guys on the dock? Why would he push the truth to the son and Kelly on a national television? It's just a painful story. I just hope Kelly will find it in her heart. And I like the fact that she is being pinned to something so that if the time comes and she goes to court, she will be able to bring her truth, which will then nullify what they are saying if it's not true about the accused number 5 and her. So I don't have a question or whatsoever. I'm just feeling the pain, and I'm like, ooh, Kelly and Longwe, can you just do us a favor? Can you imagine the whole country has been in this turmoil for how many years now? But these two, they know what happened. And actually, Chico said they know who killed Senzo. They know the truth. So we just hoping. I'm just hoping, as a mother to Senzo's child, that she is going to think about Tingo and at least tell the truth the way it's supposed to be told. Because right now we are speculating, we are finding our own truth in what they are saying, and at some point we would doubt. There's a lot that is happening. I'm just hoping they are going to release us somehow. I just hope they will be called to court as well, even though they are no longer going. Okay, even though Kelly's not going to come as a state witness, I just hope the defense calls her to testify somehow.
Yeah. No, thank you very much.
Right.
Right. Everything is, I would still say it's alleged, even if.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, everything is alleged. The views and opinions expressed in this channel are not that of the
Yeah, now
callers or
let me
the
just open
presenters.
5 on WhatsApp. 1 minute, guys. You take 3 minutes, some of you 4. I don't want to be rude.
Don't want to cut them off.
Zanzelo,
Hi guys, how are you?
hi, how are you?
I'm just saying, yeah, today I need your help, both of you. I don't know if I can see. Is it possible that I'm really trying to stress my head? Is it possible that, remember they used to say the wife, Umandisa, used to stalk Kelly and follow her around for months, and they will even fight in the streets. Is it possible that this guy, the hitman, when he called Kelly, because the calls are coming from him, not Kelly calling him? Is it possible that these were threats, just mere threats to say leave Senzo or something bad will happen? Or is he really linked? I'm really questioning this one. Is it threats or what's involved?
He's not there in jail for threats. I don't think he does threats. I don't think so.
Okay, guys.
Yeah. Hi guys, this is Jeffert from USA. I just called in earlier, but I forgot to ask how do I give my little contribution. You join the membership. Zanzi, hello.
And
1
press
minute.
the thank you button. Thank you button.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Somewhere down
Fine, thank you, send yourself.
I'm good, sir. You have a minute.
Yes, what? Alleged. So please don't use alleged. Ntabi Seng said she saw the two people that were said to be the culprits, the dread guys and those guys passing after the firing of the second shot. And after they passed, a third shot was fired. My question is simple. The defense should be looking for who shot the third shot. And according to Senzo, after the third, that Senzo was shot. Thank you. I stand there. Good night.
Thank you. Zanzi, hello.
Hello, Nishan Baba.
Sikhona njani?
Siyaphila.
Yes.
Sibongela.
Usiyabonga nathi.
Yeah, I think Kelly, I think is coming from the same area. No, I choose number 5 if I'm not mistaken.
No. I've been watching you guys talking about Ngutu. Ngutu is closer to Newcastle. Nongoma is part of Ulundi, combined with Melmoth going down opposite Nkandla. And then you go down to Mpangen. So Ngutu is a bit closer to Nkandla, but still far. Nkandla is big. So Ngutu is closer to Newcastle and more than it's closer to Nongoma. Nongoma is a neighbor of Fryhead. Yeah.
Yeah, but in the bagay, I choose number 5. I'm not buying it,
Yeah. At least I've got a brother again, Magunjal.
Yeah. And then if okay, accuse number 5 they are corner like engine. Izidumo ezithu bezobezikhona kusakulasini. It was bought to kulala vele no long because we number senior and futhi angiyi-1 bullet akho nje history yalo asumuthi ukuthi ngeke sizoba so ayihlangane vele.
Sizwa kahle mfethu, siyabonga.
Yabonga.
Okay. Zanzelo? Good, how are you?
I'm good, Chicken. Now, people mustn't be shaken by knowledge.
Yes.
We need to analyze the cases where there is some involvement of hitman. Hitman will never hit bricks less and run away. Malo must stop with this fooling around nonsense. There is no way hitman can get to less and run away. When you tell hitman, you tell them, make sure when you come back, that person is dead. The hitman made sure, man. Now, follow this narrative of hitman and mastermind. No, this thing is failed already. You must stop with this nonsense. And we say this is lies.
Oh my God. Oh, this is guys, the thank button. Let me do this. The thank button is on the next to subscribe button, the join button. So you press the join button, and then inside there you find the packages. Oh, your super thanks and all those things. You can do them on the comments there, and then if you want to join membership, I think the question was someone who wanted to join membership.
Yes.
Membership, you join it like that, and then you have your super straightforward. It's not complicated.
And we don't see your banking details if you're worried about that. No, we don't have.
We just are happy to work like the way we're working, and then we see you. And guys, please like the video. Another thank
if
button
you don't
is not
have
like
money or you are not in a position to you can always press the like button. We appreciate that over here. We will even beg you to press that like button. Okay.
We thank you for that. We thank you for that. We will always thank you for that. I'm always grateful for people who like the video, and I'm also grateful for those who are joining. But liking the video, just being active and interact with the video is also part of giving.
Appreciated.
We are not saying that, hey, turn your pockets. No, just like the video, comment. You know, by so doing, you are giving. And those who feel that, oh, we want to do more, then that's where you say, okay, join membership. Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello. I'm trying to connect you. Mzansi, hello. Sikhona njani? Yeah.
I number
Can you hear?
Ngiyakuzwa one-sided. I don't know what is going on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Awuzame?
Okay. You can use it number 5. You know, what
yeah.
Okay, why is it not showing the statistics for the communication between the 5?
Hey, I guess you get a big comment. I guess I get a chat. Ngotu is next to Blood River or Olundi. Yeah, I guess you get a comment. Or comment. Thank you. Ngotu is next to Blood River or Ulundi. Blood River. You still Blood River is ahead of Vryheid if you are coming from the side of Ulundi. Lundi, Vryheid, then from Vryheid, that's when you head to your Blood River and whatnot, and then from there, the whole journey of passing until you reach Newcastle, and then, but Ngotu is a neighbor of, in a sense, is a neighbor of Newcastle.
Okay, so it's far from
it's far from Gwanongo. It's far. You still,
how far?
It's maybe
how many hours?
Depending on what you are. You just say you're using a taxi, make it an hour of Vryheid, and then maybe 2.5 or 3 hours.
Oh, that's far.
Yeah, 3 hours. Yeah, make it 3 hours. Yeah,
that is far.
So, guys, now you end up knowing where I come from. Thank you, guys, and thank you for those who joined us. Our membership. Thank you, guys. I think now it's time for me to to shut down. And I'm sorry if I didn't answer you guys. More so the WhatsApp people who were calling through WhatsApp. I did not answer you on purpose. Tomorrow I'll give more attention to WhatsApp.
Please.
Because I always give you a lot of airtime in WhatsApp. So today I said, let me use a number more. Thank you very much, guys. Bye. On your way out, like the video. And I really enjoyed this. It was a very tough one today.
It was more analytical and it took me back to school.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.